In October of 2022, the search for 24-year-old Ri'kiah Griffie began after her mother hadn't heard from her in weeks. And now, nearly 2 years later, the search for Ri'kiah has ended in the worst way possible. Hey everyone, I'm Victoria, and I'm back today with a huge update in a case that I've covered several times on my channel. Nearly 2 years ago, in October of 2022, 24-year-old Ri'kiah Griffie went missing in Aliquippa, Pennsylvania. She'd been staying with a man that she'd been seeing at the time, but her mother, Rhonda Duke, hadn't spoken to her since October 8th, 2022, and at that point, that had been weeks ago. When Rhonda showed up to this man, Ricky Smith's apartment at the Town Tower Apartments, looking for her daughter, he told Rhonda that he'd kicked Ri'kiah out because she'd started using substances again and had been acting crazy, according to him. After hearing this information and knowing that her daughter would have gotten a hold of her, Rhonda went to the Aliquippa Police Department on or around October 21st to report Ri'kiah missing. And after she'd reported her daughter missing, Rhonda and the rest of Ri'kiah's family jumped into action and began searching for Ri'kiah on their own. Overall, they feel, and I truly do believe as well, that they received little to no support from the Aliquippa Police Department. Tragically, their search is now over. On Thursday, April 18th, 2024, a body was found in an abandoned building in the area of 5th Avenue, which is just a short distance from the Town Tower Apartments on Franklin Avenue. It's not completely known when Ri'kiah was officially last seen and by whom, but this is obviously both around the area where her quote-unquote boyfriend lived, or where the man who had her purse after she'd already gone missing claimed to have dropped her off the last time he'd seen her. Reportedly, the remains were found on the first floor of this abandoned building, covered by some debris, and were in an advanced state of decomposition. This body was found following a tip that was called into the police. While investigators didn't give much information at the time, they did confirm that this building has been abandoned for several years, so this person could have been there for a few years. The autopsy to determine this person's identity, and hopefully their cause and manner of death as well, took place on Friday, April 19th. Rumors started filtering in as early as the night of April 19th, thanks to several posts made by that man, Ricky Smith, that Ri'kiah had been seeing, stating that they knew this was her body, and so people assumed that Ri'kiah had been identified already. Despite the fact that Ri'kiah's own sister was in the comments of those posts saying that her mom, nor had any member of their family, received a call saying that this was Ri'kiah, people took this information and ran with it because Ricky Smith wouldn't stop posting. I kid you not, there were like 4 posts in the Finding Ri'kiah page from him saying that he just knew it was her when there was no evidence to say that there was, and her own family was saying, no, we haven't gotten that call yet. You're not the next of kin. You don't know this information. And he just kept saying, well, we all know it's her, which it is. We do know that now, but this type of information can be really harmful to a missing persons case. I do just want to go on a tiny little rant here that it is so important in missing persons cases to double check the information that you are going to share before you share it. Please keep in mind that spreading information like this that hasn't been confirmed by a family member, a close family member at that, or the police themselves can be super harmful to a missing persons investigation, because the second some people hear that someone's been found, they're going to keep spreading that information. And in these cases, some people stop looking. There will be people who will go about their lives thinking that that person has been found when they haven't. So it's very important to triple check that you're getting your information from a reliable source and not just from rumors or from some random person posting on a Facebook page, because that's exactly what was happening. This man did not know that it was Ri'kiah, and he was saying that it was. However, the official confirmation did come from her family on Sunday, April 21st, that the remains were identified as Ri'kiah Griffie. According to an article by KDKA News, she had been identified through dental records. Her family confirmed through posts expressing their grief and by starting a GoFundMe page asking for donations towards the expenses for Ri'kiah's funeral. If you're able, I do ask on their behalf that you consider donating to their GoFundMe towards these funeral expenses. I'll leave the link down in the description below. Right now, we don't know Ri'kiah's manner or cause of death, nor do we know how she ended up in that abandoned building. No matter the reason though, please excuse my language here, but I'm fucking pissed. Ri'kiah was found down the street from where she was last seen at the Town Tower Apartments. Rhonda and the rest of Ri'kiah's family had been begging the Aliquippa Police Department or any other law enforcement agency to step in and help in the search for Ri'kiah, and it is glaringly obvious that they didn't even try to look for her. I heard the place where she was described, even in the original news articles, as down the street from where she was last seen. And then I watched the video, like, of the shot where, you know, there's crime scene tape and it's blocked off. If I'm correct on these landmarks, and I'm 90% sure I am because I triple checked, she wasn't found down the street. She was found 3 or 4 buildings away from the apartment building. I genuinely cannot get over this. I'm going to put the map up on screen right now so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Now, originally at this point in the video, I was just going to put a map up on screen to show you my point of how close the area where Ri'kiah was found is to the Town Tower Apartments. But I decided to go into the maps and just double check a little bit on a ground level that it really was as close as I said it was, because obviously you can have this street view on Google Maps. So I wanted to do this to double check, and I want to share this with you because I feel like it truly highlights how close she was. So here we are. We're at the Town Tower Apartments. Here's the entrance. Turn down this road right here, this Sheffield Road Avenue. And then you click. So a little bit further down. Click again. A little bit further down. Click one more time. A little bit further down. And right there. This red building right here, that's where Ri'kiah was found. And if you click right over here, you can see that Salvation Army sign that I pointed out earlier in the other picture. And this is the building where Ri'kiah's body was found. This is where she has been for the past year and a half. So here's where she was found. And if you just turn back a little bit the other way, here is the Town Tower Apartments. You can literally still see the blue signs from this building, from the road. So her body was within eye distance within this, not her body exactly, but where she was found is, you can literally see that area from the Town Tower Apartments just down the road. She's been so close this whole time. And I think that seeing this, really knowing how close she was, proves exactly how little work the police did in searching for her. Because obviously an abandoned building down the street, literally, truly a few buildings down from where a missing person was last seen or known to have been, should have been searched immediately. But it obviously wasn't, because she has been there, it seems like, the whole time. She was so close. So close. She was in the exact area she went missing from this whole freaking time. I'm angry. I'm not yelling at you, the viewer. I am yelling at the situation. They have been searching for her for a year and a half, nearly 2 years now. And she was there. I saw one of her family members in an article say that they have been driving past her every day, and they didn't know she was there. And what's even crazier to think about is it seems like she's been there the entire time. It seems like she's just been laying there waiting for someone to find her. And the people who were supposed to find her didn't even bother looking. The police didn't even do the basics of looking for a missing person. Searching abandoned buildings in the area of where a missing person was last seen is basic procedure. Had the department conducted a single search with 1 or 2 officers going out a mile from this apartment building where we officially knew she had last been in the area of, they likely would have found her. I kid you not, they probably would have walked into this building, looked around, and found her. I'm so beyond angry and disappointed that this family have had to go through this of missing their daughter, their sister, their aunt, their friend, their niece, their granddaughter, their best friend for this whole time when she very much could have been found. And now that her body's been found, given that it is sadly in such a state of decomposition, what evidence has been lost? I'm just so saddened and disappointed for Ri'kiah and her family and the job that the Aliquippa Police Department did in looking for Ri'kiah. I don't think anybody can look at the work and the efforts that have been made and look at where we are now, where she was found just buildings away, not streets away, not miles away, buildings away from where she was last known to be. No one can look at that and tell me that the police did everything they were supposed to do. According to a Facebook post from a family member, it seems it will be a few weeks before Ri'kiah is returned to her family members for them to lay her to rest and celebrate her life properly. State police are planning to conduct more tests in the next few weeks to try to determine the cause of Ri'kiah's death. I just can't help but thinking that she was only 24. Like, it's been a couple years now since I was 24, but I still feel like I'm barely getting my life going, let alone a couple years ago what I would have felt. She deserved to live her life with her family and her friends and all the people that would and should have met her and been in her life. They all are going to miss out on the person that she would grow into and be around them, who she already was. And that's just not fair. We don't know what happened to her at this point in time, but I do personally feel and believe at this point in time, based on what I've heard from Ri'kiah's family and from some of the very, very little reporting that's out there, at least from when she initially went missing. Now there's all sorts of reports that you can find about her remains being found and her being identified, but when she went missing, they were so far and few between, and Rhonda was fighting for every little bit of exposure she could possibly get for Ri'kiah. That tangent aside, I definitely feel like someone took advantage of her in this vulnerable state she was in. You know, she'd been kicked out. She maybe didn't have her things with her. If, you know, she did leave the man who had her purse after she had already gone missing, if, you know, he really had dropped her off and she just went about her business, then, you know, she didn't have anything she needed. So maybe she was taken advantage of there. She was alone at the time, and who knows what happened. Seems like there's at least a few people who were in or around her life at the time who I'm sure are going to be investigated, and it just seems no matter what happened, it's a tragic situation. This is a very tragic ending to a long fight that this family has been going through. That's really all I'm going to say right now. I don't want to speculate too much because I'm sure the autopsy will, at least I hope the autopsy will be able to tell us more about how she died and what may have led up to it. As I wrap up this video, I do want to say, please be kind and supportive in the comments. I have spoken to Ri'kiah's family in the past, and they do find my videos. I've had multiple family members and friends comment on my videos. So please be supportive and send them your love in the comments below. I want to end this video with a quote from Rhonda because she was such an integral part of this search for her baby girl. I'm happy my baby is home safe with me and the good Lord. Now justice will prevail. If you do share anything about Ri'kiah and her story, I know her family is currently using the hashtags Justice for Ri'kiah and Justice for Kia. I'm going to include those in the description box down below so you can see how they're spelled. I'm sure it would help their message getting out some more if you would use those hashtags. All of my love goes out to her family and friends and those who knew her. Thank you so much for watching this update on the disappearance and now death of Ri'kiah Griffie. Stay safe, friends, and I'll see you next time. Bye.